to
Hi, everyone. I'm super excited today. I'm here with the one and only Miss Zandra Evans. She's the owner and founder of Zandra TV Networks. Hello, Miss Zandra. How are you doing?
Hi there. How are you? I'm doing well.
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, before we get started, I do have to have a little disclosure that we will be using this video for academic purposes. A lot of students will be learning and just taking notes about this because they're also interested in the same field as you are. So make sure I have your permission before we get started.
You absolutely have my permission.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm super excited. All right. So my first question, oh God, I'm nervous. How did you first get started in the business, in advertising and marketing and TV production?
Well, I can't say that it was planned. It kind of landed in my lap. I'm a 40-year corporate vet. I worked in corporate America for 40 years. And about 5.5 years ago, I got the golden handshake, which is really just, literally I got laid off for the first time in my life. And I had an exit strategy. And my exit strategy was to do what I had been working on, preparing on myself for when I was in corporate America. And that was to do my life coaching, leadership coaching for women, and at the same time be able to speak on larger stages because I am an inspirational, motivational speaker. And so I did those things, but a vision board is so powerful, right? Everybody should have a vision board. And I don't mean the white sandy beaches and the umbrella drink. I mean that you need literally a vision board that really, will help you to go to the next level in your life. And so I had one thing left to do on my vision board, and that was Fireside Chat with Zandra. And I had imagined that I would go to a hotel, sit around a fire pit in September. Now I live in Dallas, so, in September it's going to be smoking hot. But this is what I envisioned, right? And about 3 days before I actually filmed that show, which I was filming it for YouTube like everybody else, but 3 days before that, someone heard about me from somebody in Chicago, and they lived in Atlanta, and they called me up and offered me to buy my first Roku channel. And I prayed about it. And then I said, the answer was yes. So I bought my first Roku channel about 4.5 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So before getting into that, what did you do in college to make the leap to this profession? If you did anything, that were related.
It's absolutely a leap, right? I have a business degree. And so many folks are, going to college, and you're going to college for a business degree or potentially engineering degree or whatever it may be. I have a business degree, and it is not in media. So I was not formally trained in media, but I was formally trained in business. And you would be surprised at how much of what you learn getting a business degree that is applicable into running your business. And so I wouldn't say that I did anything in college to prepare to be in media, but now that I am in media, I'm, coaching and motivating and encouraging people to understand the power of your digital footprint.
Wow, that's really great because I'm also, in college right now, and I'm studying business and things, and I'm also interested in media. So that's really good advice for me. You know what I mean? Sometimes maybe what you're studying may not necessarily be the same thing, but you can apply and just take knowledge and just grow from there. So I love that.
Absolutely.
So, yes. So what's a typical day for you when you're working?
Oh, you don't want another typical day. I'm actually in the studio right now. So, a typical day is, I believe in the power of edutainment. People could be in entertainment because you're on TV, right? But I really believe I'm in edutainment. And so I spend most of my day educating other small business entrepreneurs on the power of their digital footprint and why they have to create a digital landscape for their business if they want to stay in business and if they want to scale and grow. So I probably do about 4 discovery calls a day with different people that have reached out to me on LinkedIn or Facebook, or they heard about me through somebody else. And so in that 30-minute discovery call, I'm teaching. That is my opportunity to teach folks the power of their digital footprint. And so that's a typical day, is I have a lot of discovery calls. And then part two of that day is I'm in front of the camera, like filming my shows. Not only am I the executive producer of 35 other producers, but I too
Wow.
am a producer myself. So I'm in front of the camera producing my shows. So
Well, that's awesome.
yeah.
That's really great. So you said you've been in here for the advertising industry for over 30 years. So what did you see, or what have you seen has changed in the industry as time has gone on? And what are like the biggest challenges happening right now?
I wouldn't say I've been in marketing and advertisement for 30 years. So I want to make sure I clear that up. I really have been in this marketing and advertisement arm about 6 years. I didn't start out to be in this, but one thing that I did know is that it's critical for especially small business to understand the power of marketing and advertisement. But I had to reframe some people's mindsets, and I talk about this so authentically today. And so I think we always think about marketing and advertisement equals conversion. And so I've built another formula, because it really isn't. Marketing and advertisement equals exposure. It doesn't equal conversion. And you could take some of the social media ad programs, you could run an ad, and it doesn't really equal conversion. It equals exposure. And so really reframing the conversation that we're having around what is marketing and advertisement. And it's really all about exposure. And so I do a lot of teaching about the power of exposure.
Oh, wow, that's really powerful, especially in this age, social media and things. That's kind of how you get your word out and things about your business. So also, could you tell me a little bit more about Zandra TV Networks, how it came about? Oops, I'm sorry, my little earbud slipped out. And kind of what it does.
Yeah. So, it came about, it was a divine vision. So, I take no credit. I'm a woman of faith. So, I did not create the path to be on TV. But now that I'm here, I have a passion for small business. So I would say that I have 3 tracks of business that's really important to me. And the first track of business is that one-on-one with a small business entrepreneur. And my tagline for that is helping small business stay in business. So in order for me to do that effectively, I had to make it at a price point that a small business would be able to afford. And I don't use the same terminology as the SBA. The SBA says a small business is 500 employees or less. Well, I'm a little bit different. My small employees is 0 to 20 employees. That's a real small business that really needs my help and support with creating their digital landscape. And so I really focus on making sure that that is available so that small businesses could be on TV. They could be interviewed. They could be given professional reels that they'll be able to put in their portfolio. So that to me is really my passion. But there's a part 2 to that, and that's commercial advertisement. We always are left behind. And when I say we, I'm talking about a small business. We're always left behind. By the time we gather up all the money that we need to actually get a commercial, they just raise the price by 20%. And so we're always like wagging the tail. Is that what they go? Just always trying to get to it. And so we create commercial advertisement through my production company that we stream on Amazon, Roku, Apple, and Hulu. So to me, that gives you that visibility and exposure like a mid to large size company, but yet you're a small business. And we do that affordably. Everything that we do is affordable for small business. And so, I know a lot of people, when they talk to me, they go like, this does be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. No, it is not. It doesn't have to be in order for you to be heard, be seen, and to grow and scale your business. And then the third piece, we already did part one, be interviewed on TV. Part two is get a commercial on TV. But part three is really for that entrepreneur that really wants to make a difference and really wants to scale and grow internationally. And so that third position is that you can become a TV producer. And the way you do that is through a TV media incubator that I've designed, that every small business that wants to pivot and become a TV producer will go through that incubator, including a graduation ceremony, including a certificate. You get all of that. But during that 12 months, you're learning everything you need to know to be effective in media. And so I teach adult learning theory. That means that you learn and then you apply. So within the first 4 to 5 months of being in the incubator, you're already in the TV studio filming your production. And so that's really exciting to me, to have the incubator and to be able to help people pivot. And so that's how we've gained 35 different producers, because we've helped small business pivot.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a lot. It's a lot to take in. But yeah, something I'm wondering, because I'm also interested in the field, or what advice would you give to people who are interested in the field and wanting to enter the field within the next few years, or things they could start doing to learn, really learn how to get into it?
Yeah, that is a really good question. So here's what I think, because the landscape is different now. I think you need to learn everything you need to know about streaming technology. I think being able to understand how to hold one's attention when it's a short attention span kind of network. So in my opinion, people on streaming don't sit down and there's some people that binge watch, but really people just, do a little bit, I'm gonna come back to that. And then they go back to it on their phone when they're sitting in the doctor's office waiting for their name to be called. So I think that people ingest information differently. So learning how to give bite-sized pieces of information that is powerful is important. And so learn how to do that well. And the best practice for anyone is to jump on podcasts. Let somebody interview so that you learn how to put those concise pieces of information together to create your storyline. So that is what's important, creating your storyline and being able to tell it effectively.
Wow, I love that. I just wanted to thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for empowering us and letting us know a little bit more about the field. I think this is interesting, and a lot of students will really learn from this. Actually, there was one more question I wanted to ask you, if you have a moment.
Sure.
But before we close out, could you tell me, have you ever had struggles with your confidence, especially entering the media where you're in front of the camera a lot and people are, constantly looking? If you ever struggle with confidence, and what you would tell someone who does?
That's a great question. I'm so glad you asked me. I've been a speaker a long time, so speaking on TV is just another platform for me. But I'll tell you, you have to conquer your fears of being able to kind of stand up in front of a group of people. Because once you conquer that, then TV is a piece of cake. I mean, it's live to tape. Nobody's really looking at you other than the production team. So that becomes, it's very easy to do. I've never not had confidence. I just haven't. I've been positive and had confidence all my life. In fact, I just have to tell you, a person that worked for me 35 years ago just came to the studio, and she said, you know what, this is perfect for you. You've always had that flair and that confidence to do and to speak in front of people. So I think, work on your presence, speaking in front of people, and TV it'll be a piece of cake, I promise you.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. Let me make sure. Okay. Can you tell me, what advice would you have given yourself before you started the industry?
I'm telling you,
if you could go back in time and tell yourself, even during your college years, for people like
You
me who
know,
are kind of going through this right now?
here's what I'm gonna tell you. It's not what I would have given, the advice I would have given myself, because I did it. But what I would give to young people, what I want to encourage you and inspire you to do, that if you've got an amazing idea, do it. Don't wait to do it. Just do it. Because the odds are what? You're going to be like purely successful at it, or you're going to learn something from it. So in your early stages, in your early years, if you've got a great idea, I challenge you to do it. Don't wait. Don't wait till you 40 years later out of corporate America and now I'm doing this, right? Do it. You have everything inside of you in order to prevail. If you have something that has been planted inside of you, I just want you to lean in and do it.
Oh, wow, that's great. Just like Nike, just do it, because
Yeah,
I guess if you let fear hold you back, there's so many things, you may miss out on because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
that's good. I'm gonna use that one.
Yes,
I love
ma'am.
it. I love it. That's it. I'm gonna use that. That's excellent. Yeah.
So I also heard that you won an award recently. Tell us a little bit about your experience there and kind of what took place.
I'm so happy. Well, guess what? We're a multiple international communicators award recipient. In the pandemic, we won the International Award of Distinction. And in 2021, we won the Award of Excellence. And so it's the highest award you could get. Over 6,000 people applied for it, and only 100 people were selected, and Zandra TV Network was selected. So I'm honored and I'm humbled by the experience. It's been amazing to win those awards. They're some of the highest awards for people that are in a small business trying to build a really big business. So, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. What are some things that you think make people stand out in the business, or things people can do to, make them distinct from others?
You know what I think? I think that you have to be courageously intentional to do the uncommon. And so I have a speech that I call the Blue Rose Moment. And the Blue Rose Moment is all about that blue roses do exist, but are you intentional, courageously intentional enough to access your blue rose moment, that uncommon thing, the thing that's not mainstream. When I started in TV, this wasn't mainstream. People would be looking at me when I get on stage, like they would be smiling, but their eyes were saying, you need to get a job. And I'm like, no, everybody's gonna be watching TV on their phone, I promise you. I mean, I was just out there on a crusade. But yeah, I mean, do the uncommon, because there is so much glory in that uncommon move that you make in your life. It's your blue rose moment, and you'll get presented with them throughout the course of your journey on earth. I just challenge you to accept your blue rose and actually do it. What do you have to lose? You have everything to gain.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So where do you see Zandra TV Network going in the next few years? Or what are your goals for the network?
Well, I don't know. That is such a hard question for me to answer, simply because, this really is a divine walk for me, a faith walk. And so asking me where it's going to be in 3 years, I'm not really sure. But if I just had to wager a bet based on what I've seen already, I would say that we will be a major network with at least a half a dozen of executive producers that have spun off to create their own network that is powered by Zandra TV Network.
Wow, that's amazing. I love those. But I just want to thank you once again for your time and, just giving us a lot of nuggets of wisdom that we can share with all our audience and our viewers. And we'll be seeing some more people in this industry very soon. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Okay.
All right.
Muchas gracias por estar aquí para la entrevista hoy. Me alegro mucho que te divertiste. Em português, obrigada por estar aqui comigo e falando com nossa audiência. Obrigada, muito obrigada.
English.
And thank you so much for being here for our interview.